Okay, we have returned, and let's start case number 6 in the new district of Paris. This is case 6. The show must go on. Matthew, I gather Carrie had rather an emotional day yesterday after being reunited with her long-lost brother. And since it's Hugo's day off, I decided to join you on this investigation. We received an anonymous tip-off that an animal smuggling ring is operating in the neighborhood of Montmartre. And we know that somebody working at the Poppleton Rouge Cabaret is involved. As something of an animal lover, I won't stand for smugglers operating in my city, Matthew. So I suggest we pay a visit to the Poppleton Rouge to investigate. Hello? Is anybody here? Matthew, did you hear that? It sounded like it came from backstage. Quick, let's go behind the curtain to see what's going on. Snake tank, holy crap. But I got the first star. Wah! There's a snake, Matthew. A horrible snake. And it's crushed this poor lady to death. Poor lady? She could have killed Barry the Boa falling on him like that. Who are you, and why on earth is there a snake in this tank of water? I'm Remy Roy, resident animal handler. Barry the Boa stars in one of our most popular acts, Swimming with Snakes. And that is, or was, Sabine Diamant, our head dancer. That's the legendary Sabine Diamant? But how did she end up in that snake tank? Looks like someone removed the security net that covers the tank. And I wager whoever did it also pushed Sabine in from the platform above. So this is murder. Monsieur Roy, please remove that snake from my sight, and then we'll need to ask you some questions. And Matthew, let's see if you can recover the tag inside that top hat before we speak to Monsieur Roy. Our investigation into animal smuggling will have to wait. I need to get stars, so sit tight, everybody. Okay, I got 7 stars, so let's get the top hat now. J. LaLarge. Matthew, the name on this hat reads J. LaLarge. According to our records, J. LaLarge is the owner of the Poppleton Rouge. We had better inform Monsieur LaLarge of his head dancer's death, Matthew. That's Jacques LaLarge. Welcome, welcome. Take your seats quickly. The show is about to start. I'm afraid there won't be a show tonight, Monsieur LaLarge. Your head dancer has been murdered. My little strawberry is dead? Yes, it appears she was pushed into the snake tank from the platform above. Do you know what she might have been doing up there? She must have been practicing her opening act. Picture this. The curtain opens and Sabine appears, sat atop a chair swing. She swings back and forth across the audience before being lowered onto the stage. It sent the crowd wild like you couldn't even imagine. Sabine was a star, the one people paid to see. And now she's dead. I am never going to financially recover from this. Take some time to compose yourself, Monsieur. We might be back with more questions later. Is the horrible creature gone? If you're referring to Barry, then he's locked up safe and sound. The poor fellow must have had a real scare, what with Sabine falling on him like that. Monsieur, a woman is dead and all you're worried about is your snake? I'm paid to ensure the animal's well-being, General Matthew, not the dancers. Yep, as you can see, I am now General, no longer Senior Trooper, because I made it to level 600. During the downtime. Funny you should mention animal welfare, since we've had reports of smuggling taking place here at the Poppleton Rouge. Animal smuggling? There's none of that here, General Matthew. I wouldn't have it. If only you were as outraged by murder, Monsieur. Look, I didn't know Sabine well, that's all. She preferred spending time in her room to hanging out with the rest of us. Thank you for your time, Monsieur Roy. General Matthew and I will be sure to search that room. From now on, I'm now General until I reach the next upgrade. Got it. Matthew, if we're going to discover who killed Sabine, then we need to learn more about her, and where better to look than her room. Putting together that photo could give us some insight into her personal life. You're right. And I'm not sure what that box might contain, but we should crack the lock before looking through that drawer. Matthew, this photo definitely shows our victim. But who do you suppose that woman next to her is? They look rather close, no? Let's see if we we can find a match for this lady in the PPS database, Matthew. Ava de Paradis. It appears the lady in the photo with our victim goes by the name of Ava de Paradis, Matthew. She's another dancer at the Popotin Rouge, and according to the cabaret's website, she stars in the Swimming with Snakes act. This makes her a prime suspect, Matthew. Let's speak to this Ava de Paradis about working with the victim. Mademoiselle de Paradis, we're sorry to inform you that your fellow dancer, Sabine Diamant, has been murdered. We found her crushed by a boa constrictor after being pushed into a snake tank. You mean the tank that I used for my act? Oh god, poor Sabine. Did you notice anything or anyone suspicious near the tank? No, the only person who ever goes anywhere near it other than me and Sabine is Remy, but he wouldn't hurt a fly. And what was your relationship to the victim? Sabine was the first person I met when I joined the Popotin Rouge. It was my first job and I was terrified that the other girls wouldn't be friendly. But Sabine couldn't have been nicer. She took me under her wing and we've been besties ever since. Stars like Sabine don't fall from the sky, General Matthew. The Popotin Rouge won't be the same without her. Looks like I'm probably gonna have to get one more star. Got it. Mon Dieu! This glove you found on the drawer has blood on it, Matthew. Now that I think about it, our victim was missing a glove when we found her. The killer must have pulled it off in the struggle. If our killer brought this glove up here, then we better have Enzo examine it quick. In a moment while I get an extra star. Alright, I got an extra star just in case. I actually got 2 extras. This box contains a bottle of champagne, Matthew. And look, it came with a note. Sabine, your performance was breathtaking. I'd love to have drinks with you sometime. And it's signed by none other than Eleonora Macaron, daughter of mobster Antoine Macaron. Not to mention that she's also Carrie's brother's girlfriend, as you recently discovered. If Mademoiselle Macaron was in contact with our victim, we better speak with her, Matthew. Hello, General Matthew. We, haven't seen each other since you discovered that Cody and I are a, item. I'm afraid we're not here for tales of young romance, Mademoiselle Macaron. We're rather here because the Popotin Rouge's head dancer has been murdered. Sabine Diamant is dead? How awful! I didn't know Sabine personally, but I saw her perform for the first time just last night. She was extraordinary, General Matthew. I was so impressed that I even sent her some champagne with a note asking to hang out. Who'd have imagined that I saw her dance for the last time? It gives me chills just thinking about it. Thank you for your time, Mademoiselle Macaron. We may wish to speak with you again later. And I'll see you guys when these two are finished. So for now, this is Matthew. See you soon. We have returned. Let's get the results of the autopsy. I hear you had a close encounter with a boa constrictor, Matthew. What a shame you didn't send it to me. I would have turned it into a fine pair of snakeskin heels. Please, Nadia, I feel quite unwell just thinking about that beast. Fear is all in the mind, High Commissioner. In fact, there's a whole BDSM community based on fear play. I could initiate you sometime, if you like. But for now, let's talk about your victim. Matthew correctly surmised that she was crushed to death by the serpent. But only after a short struggle with her attacker, who pushed her into the snake tank. The struggle left bruises on your victim's wrists, and also traces of cough syrup. Luckily for us, it was too sticky to be washed away by the water. And since your victim's lungs were in perfect condition, I'd say it's your killer who has a cough, Matthew. I'm sure you'll have no trouble getting the killer to cough up a confession, Matthew. Matthew, did you know that the Popotin Rouge is where I had my sexual awakening? Seeing all those beautiful ladies in their costumes, it was quite the eye-opener. You better tell us about that glove before you get lost in your thoughts, Enzo. Ah, oui. The blood on the glove was your victim's, confirming your hypothesis that she lost it in the struggle. Your killer must have panicked and hid the glove in the victim's drawer after the murder, hoping you wouldn't find it. But it's too bad for them that you did, because I found a clue on the glove, traces of absinthe. Nadia confirmed that there was no alcohol in your victim's system, which means that it's your killer who enjoys absinthe, Matthew. So our killer drinks absinthe, do they? They might be a fan of the Green Fairy, but they won't be getting a fairy tale ending, Matthew. I must admit, it feels good to be out in the field again, Matthew. There's nothing like the thrill of pursuing a dastardly criminal. Now, let's see what we know so far. We came to the Popotin Rouge Cabaret to investigate reports of animal smuggling, only to stumble upon a murder. We found the Popotin Rouge's head dancer, Sabine Diamant, crushed to death by a boa constrictor, having been pushed into the snake's tank. The cabaret's animal handler, Remy Roy, was more concerned about his snake than the murder. And the owner of the Popotin Rouge, Jacques Lelarge, didn't express much sympathy either. He was mostly worried about the financial cost of losing his star dancer. The only person who seemed genuinely upset was the victim's fellow dancer, Ava de Paradis. What should... Matthew, did you hear that? It's the snake! He's got me! see you guys for Chapter 2. We are back. Let's start Chapter 2 of The Show Must Go On. We last left off with the snake coming back. Hold still. If you struggle, he'll crush you. Alright, Barry, I've got you. Oh, thank goodness. I saw my life flash before my eyes, General Matthew. Monsieur Roy, if you can't keep that beast under control, then we shall have to confiscate it. Now please get it out of my sight. Matthew, I need some air after my ordeal. What do you say we head outside? And since there's only one way into the Popotin Rouge, we should look around out there for clues. Go-go dancers doing the can-can, look like. My heart rate has finally gone down after my encounter with that horrible snake, Matthew. So what did you find? A ticket for the Popotin Rouge? The stub hasn't been torn off, so whoever bought this ticket hasn't used it. Let's see if we can recover the name on it. And while you're at it, we should put this magazine article back together too. Matthew, this is a review of the Popotin Rouge's new show, Spectaculare Spectaculare. But why does someone tear it into pieces? If there's someone with an axe to grind against the show, they might have had something against our victim. Let's get the review to Emile to see if he can tell us more. Oh, 9 hours only. Okay. Matthew, this unused ticket belongs to someone named Gregoire Yuan. And look, he scribbled hearts around the victim's name. I say we have a word with this Monsieur Yuan, Matthew. Let's do it. Your nose is like the center of a rose. No, that's not right. Monsieur Yuan. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, officers. I was just working on my new play. I'm a playwright and a bohemian revolutionary, you see, and I've come to Paris to work on my writing. Or to find love, either would do. Or to find love, either would do. Don't you think love is a many-splendored thing, General Matthew? I suppose I do. Is that why you drew all these hearts around Sabine Diamant's name? Oh, you found my ticket for the Poupletin Rouge. I've been dreaming of seeing the beautiful Sabine perform for years, General Matthew. In fact, you might say she's my muse, even if I've never met her in person. And tonight I'll finally get to see her dance. I'm afraid that won't happen. Sabine has been murdered. My muse is dead? Who will inspire my work now? And I'll see you guys when this review has run its course, and I'll have all stars collected by then. So for now, this is Matthew. I'll see you soon. And we return. Let's get the results of the Poupletin Rouge review from Emile. Matthew, sorry if I don't see myself today. I'm feeling a little down. What does a young man like yourself have to feel down about, Emile? The world is your oyster. Do you remember that girl that I was supposed to go on a date with? She stood me up, and now she's not replying to my messages. Ah, I believe you young people call this being ghosted, my dear Emile. Perhaps it's time to move on. You're probably right. Anyway, I'm sure you'd rather hear about that review you sent me. The review itself was glowing. Apparently the new Spectaculare show is the Poupletin Rouge's best yet. But one individual thought otherwise. I zoomed in on the crowd and saw a furious-looking Eleonora Macaron. She was staring daggers at Sabine Diamant. Eleonora Macaron looked angry with our victim, did she? That doesn't fit with what you told us earlier. I think it's time we had another talk with Mademoiselle Macaron. Don't you, Matthew? What does she have to say? Mademoiselle Macaron, you spoke highly of Sabine's performance when we questioned you earlier, so why do you look so angry in this photo? Where did you find that, General Matthew? I tore up every copy that I could get my hands on. Look, I wasn't lying about being impressed by Sabine's dancing. It was her so-called acting that was the problem. One of Sabine's acts involves dressing up like my father and making fun of him. She portrayed him as a bumbling idiot rather than a businessman. I might not agree with what my father does, but family is family. I couldn't let her get away with disrespecting him like that in front of all those people, Matthew. I tried to go backstage to set Sabine straight, but the woman had more security than Le Président himself, and I couldn't get in. So I went to the bar and had a few shots of absinthe to calm down, even though I'm not supposed to drink on my cough meds. And that's when I had an idea. I sent Sabine a gift asking to hang out with her, and that's when I set her straight. But she didn't even acknowledge my gift, and the next thing I knew, you told me she was dead. How frustrating for you. We just hope that you didn't take a leaf out of your father's book and resort to murder. General Matthew, what do you say we take another look around the victim's room? Then let's go. Did not work. What on earth, Matthew? That's our victim inside this Popotan Rouge bauble. And someone has written die on it. Collecting some of those hairs might tell us who did this, Matthew. And if you want to look through the victim's fan mail, then be my guest. Moment, folks. Close together. Now you have a sample of those hairs from the defaced bauble. We should put them under the microscope. Pony fur? Huh. Matthew, this hair on the bauble is actually fur from a Shetland pony. If I remember correctly, the Popotan Rouge has a pony act. And we've already met the man in charge of their animal handling, Remy Roy. He must be the one who scratched dye into this bauble. Monsieur Roy claimed to barely know the victim earlier. Let's ask him why he lied. General Matthew, if this is about Barry, this is about you, Monsieur Roy, and the fact you sent this threat to the victim. Alright, I'm done pretending not to care. I hated Sabine, and I wanted her to know it. What did she do to you? It's not what she did to me, it's what she did to my animals. Sabine would insist on rehearsing her pony act over and over with no concern for the animals' well-being. Then just last week, she worked one of the ponies until it collapsed with exhaustion. That's when I snapped and sent her that bauble. We have an alternative theory that maybe Sabine found out you were involved in animal smuggling and threatened to go to the police. Nonsense. Now, if you're done accusing me, I have a doctor's appointment for my cough. message. Matthew, there's something strange among this fan mail. It says, snake strong, powerful, narrowing, binding, choking. So hard to breathe, death. This is a clear reference to the murder, but I can't make head or tail of it. I think Gaultier might be able to make sense of this note. Let's send it to him. I should have the results tonight. So for now, it's Matthew. I'll see you soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the strange message from Gaultier. Gaultier, my boy, did you manage to learn anything from that note Matthew found among the victim's fan mail? Well, I can tell you one thing. This note is actually a poem. More specifically, it's a cinquain poem. It fits all the criteria. It's 5 lines, starting with a one-word subject, snake. It then moves on to 2 adjectives, strong, powerful, before 3 verbs, and then, Gaultier, fascinating as this is it linked to the murder? Yes, the poem ends on so hard to breathe and death, which are clear reference to the murder, so I can confirm that it comes from your killer. General Matthew, you're looking for a killer who writes poetry. So we're on the lookout for a poetry-writing killer, Matthew. We'll soon serve them poetic justice. Matthew, our investigation into the animal smuggling rumored to be taking place at the Popotin Rouge has been sidelined. Because now we have Sabine Diamant's murder to solve. But who pushed her into the snake tank, Matthew? Aspiring playwright Gregoire Ewan's interest in the victim seems borderline obsessive. While Eleonora Macaron was furious that the victim made fun of her monster father in her act. And then there's animal handler Remy Roy, who threatened the victim after she overworked his animals. General Matthew, you have to go back to the Popotin Rouge. Jacques Lelarge is defying our officers by trying to put on the show. Oh, smokes. Well, we need to stop him, and we're going to do that in Chapter 3. Do not go anywhere. We have returned. Let's start Chapter 3 of The Show Must Go On. This is where we last left off on. Jacques Lelarge is defying our officers by trying to put on the show. What? We can't have people trampling all over our crime scene. We need to go stop him, Matthew. Roll up, roll up. After an unfortunate delay, the show is about to start. Stop right there, Monsieur Lelarge. What do you think you are doing? What does it look like, General Matthew? The show must go on. Not likely. Your cabaret is a crime scene. The show doesn't start until we say so. Fine, fine. I'll go tell the visitors that the police have decided to ruin all their fun. Right. Now that's dealt with, I say we take another look outside for clues, Matthew. Do it. This CCTV might have picked up our killer entering the Poupleton Rouge. Can you get the camera unlocked? As for that trash can, I'm more than happy to roll up my sleeves and dig in. And we should put that torn poster back together while we're at it. Matthew, we're getting even ever closer to catching Sabine Diamant's killer. One last push and we'll have them behind bars. Huh? Got it. Time to see if this CCTV camera caught anything of interest, Matthew. Let's press play. I'll wait for you in my changing room after the show. I promise I'll give you the time of your life. Just be careful not to let Sabine see you on your way in. Wow. Is it just me, or did Ava's call seem slightly suggestive, Matthew? Whatever it was about, she clearly didn't want Sabine to know. So much for them being best friends, Matthew. Let's ask Ava what she was hiding from Sabine. Mademoiselle de Paradis, can you explain this footage of you on the phone? What did you not want Sabine to see? Just promise you won't judge me if I tell you, General Matthew. Look, being a dancer at the Poupleton Rouge doesn't pay well. I can barely make ends meet at the end of the month. So sometimes I numb my feelings with absence so I can offer customers a little extra, if you know what I mean. But Sabine got wind of what I was doing. She told me that I was demeaning both myself and the Poupleton Rouge. She threatened to tell Jacques if I didn't stop. I would have lost my job if he found out. And then what would I have done? So you decided to kill Sabine in order to protect your secret. Is that it? Of course not. I was just extra careful about hiding it from her, General Matthew. I swear. I guess it'll be no then. But she's not the killer anyway. Got it. Money can't buy class. This is a poster of our victim, Matthew. But look, someone's written money can't buy class on it. Who could have done this? Let's get the poster to Emile to see if we can find out. And another 9 hours. Typewriter. An old school typewriter. What was this typewriter doing in the trash, Matthew? Look, there's something written on this page. It says, I can write no more. Sabine's cruelty has silenced me. Matthew, only one of our suspects is a writer, playwright Gregoire Yuan. But he claimed not to have met Sabine. Let's ask Monsieur Yuan what this is all about. Monsieur Yuan, how did your typewriter end up in this trash can? I'm afraid I misled you earlier when I said I hadn't met Sabine. I spent years imagining what it'd be like to finally meet my muse. I thought she'd be strong, yet sensual, just like her stage persona. But she wasn't, General Matthew. She was cold and rude, just like that Eleonora girl I met in my poetry class. I've had writer's block ever since our encounter. That's why I threw out my typewriter. It sounds to me like you had rather too high expectations of a woman you'd never met, Monsieur Yuan. I thought Paris was the home of love and culture, General Matthew, but so far, all it's given me is a cough and a taste for absinthe. He's in the running, and so is Eleanor Macaron. And I'll see you guys when this defaced poster has run its course. I'll see y'all soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the defaced poster. I got all stars prior to this. Still feeling down about being stood up, Emil? A little, but this poster you sent me was a good distraction. There was a single set of fingerprints on the poster of your victim. And those fingerprints belong to Jacques Lelarge, the cabaret owner. He's the one who defaced the poster. What? Jacques Lelarge wrote "Money Can't Buy Class" on the poster of his star performer? We need another word with Monsieur Lelarge, Matthew. And chin up, Emile. Things will get better. Care to join me for some absinthe, General Matthew? I figure if I can't put on my show, I might as well have a few drinks before I go write poetry with Remy. No, thank you, but we would like you to explain this poster you defaced. How did you know that was me? Sabine had started getting too big for her boots, General Matthew. She knew she was the star people paid to see. And Sabine used it against me. Every few months she'd demand a huge pay raise. I didn't enjoy being blackmailed any more than this cough I can't shift. But I knew that if I didn't accept, she'd leave and I'd lose customers. And now she's gone and got herself killed. I'm going to lose them anyway. Your compassion is astounding, Monsieur. And if we learn that you're lying, you'll have bigger problems than keeping your cabaret afloat. He just put himself in the running. I love it when an investigation starts coming together, Matthew. Our suspects have started showing us their true colors. We've learned that playwright Gregoire Yuan blamed the victim for giving him writer's block, while her fellow dancer, Ava de Paradis, feared she'd lose her job if Sabine outed her for sleeping with the customers. And then there's cabaret owner Jacques Lelarge. He claimed that the victim was bleeding him dry with her constant demands for more money. A few more clues and we should have this killer in the bag, Matthew. Let's return to the scene of the crime. see the lantern. And the snorkel was in the tank, as Roger could see. Okay, there we go. Matthew, this is a book on how to write cinquain poems. We know our killer is an amateur poet. This book must belong to them. We better vacuum up some of those flakes. After that empty bottle of cough syrup, it could belong to our killer too. Can you collect a sample of that saliva on the bottle? Matthew, we're closing in on Sabine's killer. One more push and we'll have them. Got it. Silver flakes. We better get these flakes from the killer's poetry book to Enzo, quick. Alright, let's do it. Got it. I think it was going to be in the top corner, and it almost was. Matthew, let's get the saliva from the cough syrup to Enzo. I'll have all stars collected by then, and I'll see you guys when these two have run their courses. Okay, we return. Let's put a killer behind bars right now. Matthew, would you like to hear this poem I wrote for Carrie? Carrie, if there's a girl I were to marry... Oi, we're on a rather tight schedule, my dear Enzo. Can you just tell us about the flakes Matthew collected from that book? Well, the flakes are actually slivers of silver sequins. Sequined clothing is notorious for shedding, Matthew, and given that you found them on the killer's book, I think it's safe to say that they're the ones sporting silver sequins. So we're looking for a killer wearing silver sequins. Let's see them try and dazzle their way out of handcuffs. Enzo, what can you tell us about that saliva on the cough syrup? Was it our killer's? It was indeed. There were telltale traces of absinthe mixed in with the saliva. The DNA in the sample was badly damaged, so I couldn't extract a full profile. But there is one thing I can tell you. Your killer is male, Matthew. We're looking for a male killer, are we? That narrows down the suspect list. Matthew, we finally got all the evidence we need to arrest Sabine Diamant's killer. Let's go get him. easy. Alright. It's not Remy Roy. Would you believe it? It's this guy. Monsieur Lalage, you're under arrest for the murder of Sabine Diamant. Ha! You must be joking! Why would I kill my star dancer? You tell us. But what we do know is that your book that you took, what we do know is that you took her by surprise while she was rehearsing her opening act. There was a struggle, wasn't there? She tried to grab onto you as you pushed her into the snake's tank, and you pulled off one of her gloves in the process. You knew Sabine falling into the tank would startle the snake into attacking, didn't you? I was counting on his killer instincts to kick in. So you admit it, you killed Sabine. But why? All because she kept asking for a raise? That was only the start of it, General Matthew. I gave Sabine raise after raise, hoping it'd be enough to keep her happy. But then I got wind of some plans she cooked up with the other girls. Sabine was planning on taking the money she'd squirreled away from her raises to start her own cabaret with all of my dancers. Can you imagine, General Matthew, if Sabine left and took all the other girls with her? I spent the past 40 years working to make the Popotin Rouge the heart and soul of Montmartre. I couldn't bear to watch it all disappear before my eyes, General Matthew. Tell it to a judge, Monsieur Lalage. You're under arrest. Monsieur Lalage, you stand accused of murdering Sabine Diamant. How do you plead? Guilty, but Sabine left me with no choice. She was going to ruin everything I worked for, Your Honor. That's no reason to kill a woman. Your lack of compassion for your victim is clear, Monsieur. So I'm sentencing you to 40 years in prison. 40 years? But who will look after my beloved Popotin Rouge? Well, Matthew, I thoroughly enjoy my excursion into the field. I like to think that the streets of Paris are a little safer now that we've put Jacques Lalage away for Sabine's murder. Now we can turn our focus back to the matter at hand. We need to investigate the animal smuggling taking place at the Popotin Rouge. I'll see you guys for Walk on the Wild Side 1-5. Oh, hello. Let's start Walk on the Wild Side 1-5. Matthew, that little excursion has given me a taste for being out in the field. I say we get straight back to work investigating the reported animal smuggling at the Popotin Rouge. I'm still convinced that there's something off about that animal handler, Remy Roy, so I suggest we start by questioning him again. General Matthew, Eleonora Macaron is here. She wants to talk to you and Carrie. So what'll it be first, Matthew? Do you want to question Remy Roy with me, or talk to Mademoiselle Macaron with Carrie? You asked to see us, Eleonora? Yes. I feel I owe you an explanation as to why I lied about knowing Cody. After you questioned my father about Cody, he started having him followed. It was only when his suspicions died down that Cody felt safe enough to meet with you. Poor Cody. I don't understand how he got himself tangled up in all this. I promise you'll have answers eventually, Carrie. But in the meantime, I want to surprise Cody by having us all hang out together.
What? 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 What?
We need to take precautions so that my father doesn't catch wind of what we're doing. So I was thinking we could find a disguise for Cody and watch the Popotan Rouge show together. I love that, Eleonora, and I think I know just a place to find a disguise. Follow me to the victim's room, Matthew, and let's take some cash for our tickets. Bingo, Matthew. If my hunch is correct, we'll find what we need to disguise Cody in that vanity case. Liquid latex. This is exactly what I was looking for in the vanity case, Matthew. Liquid latex. Performers often use it to change their appearance on stage. With this, we can disguise Cody so that he can watch the show with us. Nadia is creative. Maybe she can fashion a disguise with this liquid latex. Not you again, General Matthew. You found Sabine's killer. What do you want now? We want you to tell us about the animal smuggling that we know is taking place here. Look, haven't I proved to you that I'm not a bad guy? I didn't hurt Sabine, and I wouldn't do anything to hurt an animal either. If you don't believe me, take another look around here to see for yourself. We most certainly will, Monsieur Roy. General Matthew, let's see what we can find back here.
Nice work, Matthew. You found a locked safe. If you think the safe might be hiding information on the animal smuggling, we should unlock it. Matthew, this safe is full of ledgers. Could these ledgers be linked to the animal smuggling going on here at the Popotin Rouge? I've got an allergy to paperwork myself, but I'm sure Emile could make sense of them. And what do you know, this is also 6 hours. I'll see you guys when this is done. So for now, this is Matthew. Catch you later.
Okay, we've returned. Let's get the results of the liquid latex first. Carrie, I'm not entirely sure why you sent this bottle to me. The kind of latex I like doesn't come in liquid form. Is that right? I must admit that it's not my kind of thing, but whatever floats your boat. Anyhow, did you manage to make a disguise for my brother? I certainly did. There's no way Antoine Macaron will recognize your brother wearing this mask. Perfect! Matthew, let's go surprise my brother with this disguise. What are we doing here, Eleonora? You'll find out soon enough. Hey there, brother. Carrie, it's good to see you, but what's going on? Tell him, Carrie. Eleonora and I wanted to surprise you. We're all going to watch the Popotin Rouge show together. And look, we've made you a disguise so you can keep a low profile. I've got so many questions that I want to ask you, Cody. But for tonight, let's just enjoy ourselves like normal siblings, eh? I couldn't agree more. Let me put on this disguise, then we can grab some champagne and settle in to watch the show. Oh, I got this in the gift shop, General Matthew. I think I could put it to good use. I certainly won't wear that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Popotin Rouge Spectaculare Spectaculare. The show that will blow your minds, and more. Hit it, girls! So do those ledgers bring us any closer to uncovering who's behind the animal smuggling at the Popotin Rouge, Emile? They certainly did, High Commissioner. Come on, Emile. Sorry, JP, but to answer your question, I'm fairly certain these ledgers are a lead on the animal smuggling. The ledgers detail a number of strange transactions. For example, the Popotin Rouge allegedly bought a box of paper clips for 3,000 liras. I think that's what it is. It looks like somebody was keeping track of their purchases, but trying to cover up the true nature of what they were buying. Ha! Criminals these days are far sloppier than when I was an officer, Matthew. Well, this one was so sloppy that they left all their fingerprints over the ledgers, and they belonged to Jacques Lelarge. Jacques Lelarge was the one who kept these ledgers? Then we better go grill him about whether they're linked to the animal smuggling, Matthew. check that again. Come on, Emil. You know being called High Commissioner makes me feel old. Call me JP. Okay, that's what it said. Come to gloat, have you, General Matthew? Hardly. We want an explanation about these ledgers you were keeping. 3,000 lira for a box of paperclips seems a little extravagant, does it not? I don't know what you mean. Admit it. These transactions are tied to the animals you've been smuggling via the Popotin Rouge, aren't they? Animal smuggling? Sabine and I would never do such a thing. I mean, I think we know exactly what you meant, Monsieur. Matthew, sounds like our next step is to investigate Sabine's room. And let's grab ourselves a little snack on the way. Matthew, this is a crate to transport animals. So it turns out that Jacques Lalage was behind the animal smuggling after all, and Sabine was helping him. But we know from our anonymous tip-off that a whole animal smuggling ring is at work at Montmartre. That suggests that it's bigger than just one man and his accomplice. Recovering that label on the crate might give us a lead as to where to look next, Matthew. Shipping label. Nice catch, Matthew. The sender put their details on this crate. There's no name, but there's an address. 81 Rue Courtauld. That's in Montmartre, not far from here. Matthew, I wager that whoever lives at that address is involved in the animal smuggling ring. I'll have officers scour the Popotin Rouge for any traces of the animal that was in that crate, Matthew. And in the meantime, I'll work on getting a warrant to search that address. Matthew, wasn't it awesome to spend time with Cody and Eleonora? It felt so natural to hang out with my brother, almost like no time had passed since he disappeared all those years ago. I'm delighted that you're spending time with your brother, Carrie. But you need to be careful. Cody's been part of Macarel's gang for years. Are you sure he can be trusted? I believe Cody when he says he wants out, and I'm going to do everything I can to help him. But you're right. I'll be sure to keep my guard up. Glad to hear it. And Matthew, our officers have just returned from the Popotin Rouge. They've confirmed that all the animals currently on the premises were acquired legally. But testing on that crate shows that it was used to transport a baby cheetah, which is most definitely illegal. There's no sign of the cheetah in question, but it goes without saying that we need to put a stop to this smuggling. The search warrant to investigate the apartment that the crate came from should come through in the morning. I want you at that apartment first thing tomorrow, Matthew. Let's see. Okay, September 3rd, that's another Thursday. Now sit tight, everybody, because I still got some. Okay, now there's one last thing I have to do. Three new ones. Four. Three new ones. How about we got a 5 here? Almost 4. I'll see you guys after we take a look at these. Okay, and that'll do. And I'll see you guys September 3rd. So for now, this is Matthew. See you soon.